What's in my traveling bag? So the traveling bag that I actually have is a K&F Concept traveling bag. And if we open it up, these are some of the components of gear that I bring. And in this bag, the first thing I have is I always travel with the A7R5. So I recently just got this camera and I have this equipped with a hand strapped NATO rail and a cage. So this cage is by Small Rig, and this is another Small Rig NATO rail. Let's see. I do have two cards in here since this has two slots. The first one is a CF Express card. You can probably see around there. And the other one is a Prograde SD card. So I do have two cards to be read on here for different items. So I mainly use the CF Express card for S&Q and video, just as faster processing, just to get me going. And the other one is mainly for just photos and extra storage. So this is my primary one for the CF Express whenever my daily uses. I usually have this paired up with a 24-70 Sigma 2.8 lens. So I usually have this connected SO. And then I have this equipped with a K&F Concept Pro Mist filter with a variable ND attached. And this is my primary camera lens that I use for traveling. Does pretty good job. And I sometimes pair it up with a small tripod. So this is actually a DJI tripod that came with the RS4 Gimbal. And this is a newer ball head. And usually when I'm running and gunning, I typically try to keep it small when vlogging as well. So it's a pretty good tripod just for quick shoots, especially when you need a break. Another thing that I also bring with me is a CF Express reader. So the CF Express reader is obviously to get the content off the the card over to your MacBook or PC. And I also carry a top handle usually with it, and this one's also by Small Rig, and I usually attach it to camera as such. As you can see, pretty solid and still able to be held by my hand strap. So that is what I usually carry when it came to camera equipment, as in the first hardware spot. Another thing I also carry is audio. So I usually work with the DJI Mic 2s. This is a very powerful mic, has 32-bit float, very clear, very solid, especially in windy conditions. I also have a wireless transmitter with it, so it allows me to have that quick ability to connect to my OSMO Pocket 3 as well as my camera system when needed. For also audio, when I'm actually going around, I usually rock these. So these are my AirPod Maxes. This is the first generation. I am planning to upgrade, but they have done me solid for the longest. And they are quite heavy for long hauls, for flights, but they still get the job done, especially for canceling all the noise, especially for loud jet engines. Another thing I always carry with me is always a power bank. So the power bank that I actually use is a Morphe power bank. So this one will charge my laptop as well as my camera gear, whatever it may be. And usually all my stuff is USB-C. Another thing that I always bring is a MacBook. So if you don't know that I'm a Mac user, so I do have the M1 MacBook. So it's an older model, but definitely still a powerhouse. It is heavier, but sometimes the extra pounds compared to an Air definitely gets the job done. I also carry with me a flash. So right now this is a basic flash I use. That's a TT350. So this does runs on batteries. So that's the only downside with it. But it does have a hot shoe and I do have a wireless trigger for it if needed. Another thing that I carry with me is also a combo, which is the DJI Mini Pro 4. And if you see in here, it also has a variable ND filter attached. And I have the serial number also attached to it. Depending where you're flying, there's certain restrictions. It's always good to at least have your serial number on here, as well as your license number, depending on the country you're going to, especially if you're flying to multiple countries. I also have the RC2 with it, and I just use this as a sun hood. So if I get those hard sunlight conditions, I'm still able to see clearly what I'm working with. As I said previously, I also rock with a OSMO Pocket 3. So the first attachment that I put actually comes along with a little magnetic stand. So this magnetic stand, sometimes I'll attach it to my camera, and sometimes I will attach it to my Osmo Pocket just to get that stance of a turn angle that I need. So sometimes I'll hang it to a metal piece on top and then get a cool overhead shot. For this, I also have another stand. So this is a little silicone plastic stand that I have here also just to place it down when I need it. And it works really well. I also have a plastic cover for the gimbal itself just for protection, as it does a pretty good job. So it is called Sony Life, I believe, is the brand for this. So it does pretty well that I could just throw inside of a bag and just let it be. I really prefer this over the other packaging that it comes with. And also I do have a Ulanzi casing around it. So it's a metal casing that allows me to have an extra thread right here and also a cold shoe right here. So it does a pretty good job on giving me these extra attachments. And I didn't have any issues. It does protect it pretty well as well, especially alongside with the little plastic cover. Normally I just throw this inside my pocket or I throw it like over another bag, and it does a pretty good job upholding itself. I also carry with me a multi-tool. So this is also another small rig multi-tool. So this one comes with me everywhere, gives me all the equipment tools that I need for small gigs as well as small shoots, just in case something needs to be tightened or loosened. Haven't really had any issues with it. Pretty much everything that I need in one piece. I also carry with me a small little camera strap attachment. So right here attaches to the bag itself. So if I'm doing a run and gun, I'll attach it this one piece to come out. I'll attach this to the bottom and it will just slide right back in when needed. It's really good for running and gunning. And I really like about this bag, it does keep its shape even without literally anything in it. These are all also detachable and you could make them custom however you like them. So I added some extra padding in it as well, but it did came with pretty good padding as well for myself. But this is how I like to set up my bag, especially that I also bring another bag with my wiring. So usually I'll put my wiring right here. So this is a Sloan bag. So usually I'll put my camera in here and then sometimes attach it right here just to have an extra bag if I don't want to carry a whole book bag with me constantly when I'm traveling. So I also do carry this little small flash. It's about like 1 by 1. So it is a flash and it does a pretty good job. It's a hot shoe. So this just usually attaches onto the top of my camera, and it does change into an actual light itself. So it's pretty well. It's also a used Ulanzi, and I haven't had any issues with it. But built pretty well and very cheap, and is USB-C charging as well. And that's pretty much all I have in my photography bag that I carry with me, besides the current tripod I'm using, which is a Siri carbon fiber. I think is a TC135. So it does have an Arcus Swiss plate at the bottom, and it's very compact. So it goes compact into about like maybe a foot tall and extends all the way up to 6 feet. So that's another item that I use so much, but currently using it on my other camera. But thank you for watching my video, and this is all the items that I really have in my camera bag. And I'm going to show you how everything actually fits inside my bag. So first things first, a lot of times I will choose to put all my extra attachments in here, such as my OSMO Pocket, my flash, my extra battery, this piece as well. And I usually do remove this. And I will remove my top handle. So when I am traveling, majority of the time I'll put my extras in this bag. As everything does have a home, I normally would choose to put this part on the way I set it up on the top section right here as so. So normally I'll place it right here where it's needed, and then I will also place this right here at the bottom with the little kit. So let's get this on here, as well as the RC2. And then I will also include my mics on here and put it in this compartment. Then my little tripod. A lot of times I will disconnect it to get that extra storage space. And then for my camera, I will put it in this other insert that I built for it. I usually leave the handle on, and then usually here I'll add this on top, place this little small tripod part onto here along with the express reader, and then my MacBook also inside. And this is how usually it looks all set up, and I can show you it does close and maintains its shape pretty well. And I can also include me adding my MacBook inside. So we'll go back here. So it has this extra compartment right here for your bag, and also still maintains pretty good structure of your bag. And then if you're carrying your passport, there's also a secret compartment right here on your back part that I really love. And you still have a back strap to put inside your luggage to hold it. Really like these adjustable pieces right here, depending on how tall you are or wide you are. It does help. And then you still have this extra compartment where I usually put my camera strap on. Yeah, this is the K&F Concept travel bag, and this is what's in my photography bag.